There are people who walk through one difficult season and emerge changed by it, humbled by it, forever shaped by what that single storm required of them. And then there are others, those who do not experience one storm but many, who lose things not once but repeatedly, who are pressed down in ways that should have, by every reasonable measure, produced a permanent breaking. And yet, they are still here, still standing, still moving forward, even when the path ahead is unclear and the weight behind them is heavy. If you are one of those people, if you have looked around at the wreckage of seasons you somehow survived and quietly wondered how, this message is for you. You did not survive by accident. You did not make it through by luck or by chance, or by some random alignment of circumstances that happened to work in your favor. You survived because something in you was built for exactly this. Because what you carry is too important to be extinguished by what you have been through. You were not chosen for an easy life. You were chosen for a meaningful one. And meaning in a human life is almost always forged in the places that cost the most. Before we continue, take a slow breath. Let this moment be intentional. If this message found you at a time when your spirit needed a reminder of why you are still here, that was not coincidence. This channel exists for those walking a path of purpose, awakening, and truth. Subscribe if you feel called to walk that path with intention. And if this arrived at exactly the right moment, leave 1111 in the comments as a quiet acknowledgement that you are aligned and ready. Now let us walk through 9 divine reasons why chosen ones keep surviving, why you are still standing after everything that tried to take you down. 1. Because your pain was never without purpose. A chosen one does not suffer randomly. That is not easy to hear in the middle of the suffering. When you are inside a season of loss or grief or betrayal, the idea that any of it carries meaning can feel distant, even cruel. And yet, with the distance of time, a pattern emerges that is impossible to ignore. Nothing was wasted. Not the heartbreak that felt unsurvivable. Not the failure that felt permanent. Not the betrayal that came from the person you trusted most. Every one of those experiences, as devastating as they were in the moment, was quietly doing something to you that comfort never could. It was deepening you, expanding your capacity for compassion, teaching you things about human nature, about your own resilience, about what truly matters, lessons that could not have been delivered any other way. The chosen one learns, often through great personal cost, to shift the question they bring to their pain. Not "why is this happening to me?" but "what is this asking of me?" That shift, small as it sounds, changes everything. It transforms suffering from something to be endured into something to be learned from. And what is learned cannot be taken away. Your pain was preparing you. It was not punishment. It was initiation. And the fact that you are still here means the preparation is not finished yet. 2. Because you have never truly been walking alone. There are moments in a chosen one's life that defy easy explanation. The situation that should have ended badly and somehow did not. The decision made in desperation that turned out to be exactly right. The narrow escape from something whose full danger only became clear afterward. Looking back, these moments accumulate into a pattern that feels less like coincidence and more like protection. Something has been moving alongside you, not always visibly, not always in the ways you asked for or expected, but consistently enough, across enough impossible moments, that the evidence becomes undeniable. Call it what resonates with you: divine guidance, ancestral protection, the hand of God, the alignment of something greater than yourself. Whatever name you give it, the reality is the same. You have been accompanied, shielded in moments you did not even know required shielding, redirected from paths that would have cost you more than you knew. This protection was not earned by being perfect. It was not contingent on having everything right, or never doubting or always being strong. It came because you carry something that is meant to continue, because your assignment is not finished. And what is genuinely meant to continue tends to be preserved until it is complete. You have made it this far not only by your own strength, but because something has consistently refused to let you fall further than you could rise from. 3. because your mission is not yet complete. There is something in a chosen one that persists even when they have exhausted every reason they can name to keep going. In the deepest valleys, when energy is gone, when hope is thin, when the weight of everything accumulated feels impossible to carry one more step, there is still something that will not fully release. A pull, a knowing, a quiet but unmistakable sense that there is still something ahead that requires your presence. That is not simply determination. It is a soul-level awareness of an unfinished assignment. Before you arrived in this life, something was placed within you. A purpose that exists not only for your own fulfillment, but for the benefit of others you have not yet reached. Some are here to break patterns that have repeated across generations. Some are here to carry a truth that someone else desperately needs to hear. Some are here to create something, heal something, restore something that cannot happen without them. Whatever that assignment is for you, it is anchored to your survival. You cannot fulfill what you were sent here to do from anywhere other than here. And that anchoring is part of what has kept you through the seasons when everything in you wanted to stop. You may not have full clarity on what the assignment looks like, but it pulses in you, beneath the exhaustion, beneath the doubt, like a quiet but persistent current, and it will not release you until it is done. That is why you are still here. 4. Because you have always been willing to learn from what hurt you. Most people, when faced with pain, move away from it as quickly as possible. The instinct is understandable. Discomfort signals danger. The natural response is to create distance, to numb, to distract, to do whatever is necessary to feel less of what is difficult. But a chosen one, somewhere in their development, discovers a different relationship with difficulty. They learn to stay with it long enough to hear what it is saying, to sit in the discomfort without immediately escaping it, to ask, even through tears, even in the middle of the hardest moments, what is this here to teach me? This is not masochism. It is not a preference for suffering. It is the hard-won understanding that what is fully felt and honestly examined loses its power to repeat. That wounds which are genuinely tended eventually become wisdom. That the painful chapters, when they are not simply survived but actually integrated, become the source of the deepest and most durable strengths. This is what separates a chosen one from someone who simply endures. Both may go through the same fires, but the chosen one comes out transformed rather than simply scorched. They carry what they learned forward. They allow the hard seasons to shape their discernment, deepen their empathy, and expand their capacity to help others who will one day face something similar. The willingness to learn from what hurt you, rather than being defined or destroyed by it, is one of the most powerful things a chosen one carries. And it is a significant part of why they keep rising. 5. Because you are guided by something beyond your own understanding. There is a quality that chosen ones often describe but struggle to fully articulate. A sense of being directed, of receiving guidance that arrives not through logic or strategy, but through something quieter and more internal. An intuition that turns out to be accurate in ways that seem improbable. A nudge toward or away from something whose significance only becomes clear later. A knowing that persists even when the circumstances do not yet support it. This guidance does not always make immediate sense. It does not always lead to comfort or ease. Sometimes it leads through harder paths before it leads to better ones. But it is consistent. It is trustworthy. And chosen ones learn over time to honor it, even when they cannot fully explain it. This is not the absence of reason, it is the presence of something that works alongside reason, supplementing what logic can access with a perception that reaches further. A chosen one who learns to move in alignment with this guidance finds that their path, however difficult, carries a coherence that purely strategic thinking rarely produces. You may not always know where you are going, but something in you knows the direction. And that compass, trusted, followed, honored, is one of the reasons you have consistently found your way through what should have lost you. 6. Because you were built to carry what others cannot. A chosen one is not selected for an easy road. They are selected for a deep one. The capacity they carry, for endurance, for emotional depth, for holding together under pressure that dismantles others, was not accidental. It was developed, forged through lifetimes of experience, through every difficult season that added another layer of strength to what was already there. This does not mean they do not feel the weight. They feel it fully. They grieve deeply. They carry their burdens with an awareness of their full heaviness. There is no pretending it is lighter than it is. But they hold it, and they keep moving. Not because they are indifferent to the cost, but because something in them understands that the capacity to carry difficult things, truly carry them without collapsing under them, is itself a form of gift. One that eventually becomes the very thing that allows them to hold space for others who are only beginning to face what the chosen one has already walked through. Their strength does not look like the absence of struggle. It looks like the persistent choosing to rise in spite of it. And that kind of strength, earned, not given, does not break under pressure. It deepens. You were built for what you are carrying, not because it is easy, but because you were made with the capacity to transform it into something that serves a purpose far beyond your own survival. 7. Because your story was always meant to reach someone else. A chosen one's survival is never only about themselves. Every season they came through, every loss they rebuilt from, every night they were not sure they would see the morning, every moment of being brought back from the edge of giving up entirely, was being recorded. Not in some abstract spiritual ledger, but in the lived texture of who they are becoming. And who they are becoming is someone whose story will matter to another person in a way that nothing else could. There is someone, perhaps many people, who will hear what you have been through and feel for the first time that their own survival might be possible. Who will see that you came back from what they are currently inside and understand that they too might come back. Your testimony is not just yours. It is a resource, a roadmap, a permission slip for someone else to believe that their story does not end in the place where it currently hurts the most. This is why the difficult chapters were not removed from your story even when you prayed for them to be. Because the fullness of what you carry, including the parts that cost the most, is exactly what will reach the person who needs it most. Your most painful chapters are often the most powerful chapters, and they belong not only to you but to everyone whose life they will one day touch. You survived in part so that your survival could become someone else's hope. 8. Because your soul carries the wisdom of more than one season. There is a quality in chosen ones that is difficult to explain but unmistakable when you encounter it. A kind of depth that does not fully match their years. A familiarity with difficulty that feels less like personal experience and more like ancient memory. A stillness in crisis that suggests they have navigated something like this before and found their way through. Many chosen ones sense from an early age that they are carrying more than one lifetime's worth of knowing. That the grief they sometimes feel without a clear source, the wisdom that arrives before it has been earned, the intuitive understanding of things they have never formally studied. These are not anomalies. They are evidence of a soul that has been refining itself across more than one chapter of existence. Each lifetime brought its lessons. Each cycle of difficulty and return added something that could not have been acquired any other way. And in this life, all of that accumulated knowing is available, not always consciously, but always present. In the calm they find in crisis. In the clarity they access when others around them are lost. In the persistent sense that even the hardest season is not the end of the story. You have been through versions of this before. You have lost things and rebuilt. You have faced what seemed like permanent ending and found continuation. Your soul remembers, even when your mind does not. And that remembering is part of what makes it impossible to finally break you. 9. Because you are held by something that does not let go. Beneath everything, beneath the strength, the resilience, the lessons learned and wisdom carried, there is something more fundamental than all of it. A grace that does not withdraw when you are at your worst. A love that does not require you to have it all together before it shows up. A presence that finds you in the places you were most certain you were entirely alone, and reminds you, quietly but unmistakably, that you are not. This is the deepest reason a chosen one keeps surviving. Not because they are unbreakable, but because they are held by something that committed to them before they were fully formed and has not released that commitment through any of the seasons that followed. When they ran from it, it waited. When they doubted it, it remained. When they were too exhausted to reach for it, it reached for them instead. In small ways sometimes, a moment of unexpected peace, a word that arrived at exactly the right time, a stranger's kindness that felt like it was meant specifically for them. In larger ways, at other moments, a rescue from something whose full danger only became clear in retrospect. This is not a force that abandons its chosen when the road becomes difficult. It is, if anything, more present in those moments, more active, more insistent in its quiet refusal to let them go. You are still here because you have been held through every moment when your own grip faltered. Not because you were strong enough, but because the grip holding you was stronger than everything that tried to break it. And it has not released you yet. Which means your story is not finished. Which means what you are still here to do has not yet been done. Keep going. If you have stayed with this message to the end, something in you recognized it. You have felt the weight of the seasons described here. You have stood in places that should have finished you, and you are still standing. Not because you are perfect, not because it was easy, but because you were made for exactly this level of endurance, and because what you carry is too important to be left undelivered. You are not finished. The world still needs what only you can bring. This is the Messages of the Awakening channel. If this stirred something in you, share it with someone who needs to hear it today. Subscribe for more spiritual awakening content, and leave 1111 in the comments if this found you at exactly the moment your soul needed it. Thank you for being here.